Protests, to be or not to be. Nigerian citizens, widely so, are calling for protests to end bad governance in the country. And this has raised so many questions as to whether it is appropriate to protest or not. Protest, to be or not to be. Now, Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution guarantees the citizens' right to protest, to air their grievances, and make expressions of their displeasure on any issue concerning the human condition. But as it stands today, the citizens are calling for this protest, largely so, to end bad governance and calling on the government to address 15 specific issues which the government up until now failed to address. The Bola Tinubu government came into office and took away subsidy, which led to throwing the country into a state of quagmire that have caused a lot of issues in the economy, that Nigeria is yet to bounce back to where it was before this policy was made. The policy, how be it made in such a way that can be regarded as an impulsive decision of the president, ever since then till now, the lives of Nigerians have never remained the same. Thus, the call for protests. Now, it's protest necessary in the Nigeria of today. So many schools of thought believe that it is important for the people to come out to protest, to air their grievances, and to make far-reaching demands and compel the government to address this issue. Another school of thought believes that protest is not the answer to the issue right now because of the likelihood of a breakdown of law and order. The government have called that the citizens should not protest because there's a likelihood that this will be hijacked and this may lead to lawlessness or a case of a breakdown of law and order. But if the citizens have the right to protest, should the fear of hijackers preclude or prevent them from protests? The answer to this question is that if the citizens have a right to protest and that right is exercisable under the Constitution, I think that right should be exercised. Then the government that consistently share the fear that this will be hijacked or this may be hijacked have a responsibility under the law to come out on the day of protest and prevent whoever is there to foment trouble from doing so. That is the reasonable thing to do. And not to tell citizens that they have a right to protest, but they shouldn't. That will not go down well with so many people. Now, the right to protest is guaranteed under the Constitution, but the right to violence is not guaranteed under the Constitution. Therefore, if you must protest, it is imperative that you must watch out for the rights of the other man. A man's right to swing his hands ends where another man's right to defend his nose begins. Therefore, it is important that we go out to exercise that right if you deem it necessary or fit in the circumstance on that reference. But what we must not do, what we do not have the right to do, is to organize ourselves in such a way that people will now go, into violence and begin to destroy lives and property. That is not allowed under any law whatsoever. So the grievances you bear, the so-called issues that have tormented the soul of people, and all the problems you face in the country, you feel the government need to address, you must come under legal authority to call for the government to address same, and this is what we must do as a people. Nigeria is a civil society. Nigeria is made up of civilized people. Nigeria has a government. How be it that the government have not done what it ought to do to keep the citizens happy? It has not managed the economy effectively. It has not managed security effectively. It has not managed public health care, education, and the host of all other problems that it has failed ostensibly to manage. And that is when people therefore call for protest. That is understandable. But a protest must not become vindictive. A protest must not become one that will erode the country. I have also seen the demands that have been put forth by the protesters. And I think these demands are valid, except for the one that asked the president to scrap the 1999 Constitution. That is not possible. But for every other one in the list, this government have a duty to go back to the drawing board and look at those issues and address them. Between now and the 1st of August is enough time, in a way, to engage with the people and to see what the government can set in motion to address the issues the people are yearning and they are calling for the government to address. It is important. People are hungry, okay? And people who are hungry, there is nothing you can tell them that will assuage that desire to feed themselves, other than to create an alternative means through which they can get whatever it is that will assuage that thirst and hunger. It is important our government look to that direction and ensure that the economy is steered in a way, according to Section 16 of the Constitution, is steered in a way that will guarantee prosperity of the people. That is the responsibility of government. The security and welfare of the people is the primary purpose of government. That is also the responsibility of government. So it is important that government go back to the drawing board and look at the issues and re-examine the tenets of democracy, whether this call for protest, whether the people have a right to so do, and whether a call for protest is has to do with the fact that the people are playing opposition. That is why they are calling for protest. I mean, that is not the case. The case under reference is that the government must put this country on track. And until that is done, people will keep calling for protest. I shall go to Rabbi again.